What's going on, everybody? This is Afro Think Tank. Today, I'm going to talk about this word FBA, all right, because I thought this shit done went away, but in my comment section, the shit keep popping up, all right? So I'm going to make a couple things very clear about FBA, all right? Because I see a lot of people still using this term FBA, and they're using it as a word that describes African Americans, right? And I got a couple people in my comment section. It usually has to do when I'm talking about Nigerians or Africans and African American relations. I get a couple people be saying some dumb stuff like, yeah, us FBA, and they'll say, and once they say that, it's followed by something real stupid and ignorant, right? And I'm like, first of all, let's clear some shit up. Black people in America don't call themselves FBA. 99.99% of African Americans never heard of FBA. Foundational Black Americans. Nope, we ain't heard that shit. You ask any random black person, listen, you ask any, here's some homework for you. Go out when you tomorrow or whenever you see this, that day, go ask like 5 random people, what's FBA? They're gonna look at you like, I don't know, because it's not a thing. FBA is only Tariq Nasheed's xenophobic hate cult fan club. That's it, that's all. African Americans only call themselves Black or African American. Black, all right, is English, and Negro is Spanish. And the reason why European American, English speaking white people say nigger is because they couldn't say negro. That's it. It means black. Black, negro, nigger, that's black, okay? Of course, nigger said like the way the Europeans said, because they couldn't say negro, because they don't have lips to say negro, they don't roll their tongue in English. Because of that, they just say nigger, all right? And then we black people, we took the R at the end off because we got big lips, in the way we speak, we say nigga, all right? Because that's kind of the tonal way in which we speak. That's how we do it, all right? But Black African Americans, we don't call ourselves Black American, because African Americans, no, we ain't never been American. We've been black, and we've accepted African American because African of origin, America is where we live. That's it, that's all. FBA, Foundational Black Americans, is Tariq Nasheed's xenophobic fan club. So if you are part of Tariq Nasheed's xenophobic fan club, you're calling yourself FBA. You people calling yourself FBA do not represent African Americans. We have no problem calling ourselves African Americans. We've never had any problem with Africans. We may not have known our culture. We may not been as aware of our West African culture as we should have, but it's through no fault of our own. But African Americans have always been pro-black, pro-African. That's why we wear dashiki. We've been doing this shit from the 70s, the 50s, the 60s. Go back in time. Since entertainment has been a thing in America, you will see black people praising and utilizing African culture as expressions within our artwork, all right? Dashikis and kufus and all that stuff. We've always been pro-African. We may not know about our African history that much, but like I said, through no fault of our own, but we've never been anti-African. African Americans have never, ever been anti-African, ever in the history of Africans being over here in North America. We have never been anti-African. We've been ignorant, but we've never been anti-African ever. You got your onesies, you got your twosies, you got your exceptions. The only time we've ever had acrimonious altercations with Africans was in middle school, grade school, elementary school, in high school, where all kids, no matter what kind of kid they are, was mean and rude and evil to other kids. That's just what it is. Black people talk shit to other black people for fun. Shoot the dozens. We got plenty of names for it, all right? Some Africans who came over here that lived in and been with Africans experienced the joning culture of African Americans and didn't quite understand it and felt like they were personally being picked on because they were African, which the only reason we would say something derogatory about them within that session is because we're talking shit All right, the same way we would call an African booty scratcher, we'll call the darkest African American smoke, black, big head, all sorts of dumb shit. As a matter of fact, the person that got called African booty scratcher the most was another African American child. We called each other that. All right, we did that to each other. We hurt each other's feelings, and that's just, we got plenty of more names. Everybody in the hood remember growing up, and everybody had their own name. We had people called fish head because you had a big ass head, you ugly. Crunchy smoke black if you dark. You know, all sorts of shit, because kids in general are mean. That goes for every group of children, every race on the planet, okay? So if you're an adult and you still talking about, they called me this, or they said out, that's because when you was a kid, you got made fun of, and you're an adult and you still haven't dealt with the trauma of your childhood. That's your personal problem. Sorry about that. But African Americans have absolutely, positively, never ever in the history of African Americans been anti-African. The only people who are anti-African are antisocial, incel African Americans who have mental issues, and they live and they believe all the shit white people tell them because they're weak-minded or they're uneducated. All right, now there's always time to change. There's always time to, to renew yourself and to re-educate yourself, to be more aware of your surroundings. So, but listen, just make it clear. African Americans, we call ourselves two things: African American or black. We don't say black American, because black American, FBA, all those terms are meant to separate the African American from the continent of Africa with the express purpose of dividing and conquering us. If you think that all these terms were made up by black people originally, you will be sadly mistaken. Because white people have been using coon-ass black people, right, of various different degrees, whether liberal or conservative, to make sure that we stay divided, broke, weak-minded, and stupid, so they can make us do everything they want us to do, so they continue to siphon off our energy, siphon off our resources, siphon off our power as a group of people to utilize for their own benefit. That's the whole purpose. When you actually wake up and you actually see what's going on in the real world, you too will realize the same thing. So I'm proud to be an African American. Never call me an FBA, because that's weak. That's weak, and that's a mental illness, and that's a xenophobic Tariq Nasheed hate group club name. All right, that's him. And another thing, if you are a Pan-African and you're still concentrating on little ass Tariq Nasheed, him C-level actor who got to slide over to YouTube and be an influencer or whatever, anybody paying attention to Tariq Nasheed right now, you are street level. You're not a Pan-African. Pan-Africans are paying attention to what's happening in the black world. We got shit happening. The revolution has started. All right, in Africa, the revolution has started. We're talking about big shit. Real Pan-Africans are talking about black shit. We ain't fucking caping for no motherfucking Donald fucking Trump. We're not sitting here making video after video trying to protect and be shields for any white institutions, whether liberal or conservative. We don't got fucking time for that, because both of those are white supremacy organizations. We black people, we true and real Pan-Africans, are talking about what's happening in Africa with our brothers and sisters, and what's happening in the black world that concerns black people or African people on the continent, point blank and period. I hope I cleared that up. So like I said, FBA, I'm gonna say it one more time, is a xenophobic Tariq Nasheed cult hate group. If you're a Pan-African and you're not talking about Pan-African shit, you're not a Pan-African. You're pretending and playing to be Pan-African, thinking you're gonna get paid. Period. We call ourselves African American or black, not Black American, not FBA, not ADOS, no fucking pretendians. I don't even waste my time talking about pretendians. I don't waste my time talking about Tariq Nasheed, because them niggas are irrelevant to any actual serious movement. They're not serious. I don't care how much money they got. I don't care how many views they get on a video, because I think by this point we realize there's a lot of dumbasses who watch other dumbasses who get on camera talking like dumbasses. All right, a bunch of them, bunch of antisocial weirdos who watch these people and worship these people. The same people, type of person who will worship a Donald Trump, the same type of person who will worship a Tariq, those are the same type of people. Period. You're fucking weird, and you guys need to educate yourselves and elevate your minds and make yourself more intelligent so you can talk about real shit that's happening in the world. All right? So anyway, that's all I got to say for now, guys. Afro Think Tank, learn something, teach them. I'm out.